Okay, it is 8:17 p.m., February 26th, 2020, and it's really cold. I have been, it's like I'm hearing someone ask for a love reading, and you know how much if you've been with the channel for a while, you know how I feel about love readings. But I saw like this being played out in my mind, a weird way to do this, and I thought it was fun. So let's let's see where this goes. So I don't know if everyone's watching, or the ones that are watching, what your relationship status is. So if you're single, then consider the second pile. I guess we'll do two piles. Consider the second pile your other side, I guess, mm, your higher self talking to you, maybe. Related how it relates, okay? Just let yourself hear what you need to hear. And if you're dealing with more than one person, good for you. And the second pile will be, you'll know which one it's about, okay? I'll try to be as specific as I can. First, we're going to start with your pile. What you really, really, really want. And this is for everybody watching. I'm just the messenger here in this specific reading, okay? I know the other ones, majority of them, messages coming through me they apply to me too in some way, but this is for you guys. I'm single and I like it this way, so this is for you. Okay, what is it that you actually want, the viewer? What is it they want in a romantic relationship? The real thing I want, not the frivolous, basics. The Magician and the Two of Swords. You want a decision to be made. You want something to come of this. You want to go a different direction or pick a direction. Oh, interesting. I don't know if you can hear that, but in the background, a really soft piano song is playing. Comtine d'un autre été. I don't know what language that is. It's music to the movie Amélie. What you really seem to want out of a relationship, or out of this specific relationship with a specific person that you have in mind, it feels as if you're longing for a version of them that exists in your mind, and it's not who they are at the moment in time that you know them. So you might be playing these, I don't want to call them games, but you're doing something, you're manipulating something in a good or bad way. Apply it however it applies, to get a conclusion, confirmation, a result, a response, a transformation, a decision out of this other person, for them to fit in or to resemble more of what you think or see or feel them to be. I'm being shown the image of a really beautiful picture I had saved a long time ago. I'll look for it and post it as the thumbnail if I can find it. It's of a woman playing a harp in a cemetery, and then she's being held by the ghost of a lover that passed on. And singing and playing that harp, it's almost as if she's trying to manifest him back. And whoever you're questioning about or asking about, if they're alive or passed on, it's as if you're trying to manifest that version of them into what they're presenting themselves as to you currently. You're not allowing yourself to see who they are until they show you through other methods who you want them to show you they are. I don't know why I keep getting this feeling of someone that's passed on. So if some of you are thinking about that, my condolences. But that person wants you to use other senses to talk to them. Stop looking for them and start feeling for them. Look to nature, but feel for the spirits. And those of you dealing with more than one person, there's no indecision. You already know it's neither one of them. One of them fulfills a physical pleasure. The other one fulfills a mental game, mental affair. But neither of them are actually having you reach out to them. It's almost like a magician stage show that's being played. When they're around, you're one person. When they're not around, you're someone else. They're expecting you to be who you are when you're by yourself, but you're hiding some kind of a vulnerability by pretending to be someone that's less than who you really are to fit into who you think they want. It's such a sense of going in so many different directions and not seeing, feeling, or attempting anything, but overthinking it and then focusing on the physical pleasure of it. There's so many different threads going through this, and I'm attempting to be as general as I can because I can feel all these different stories playing out. I can see them, but they all have a similar palette. So regardless of how your situation is currently, the status or whatever is going on, apply these messages in a umbrella kind of way and see, because there's so much here. There's so much. How can you manifest when you're not decided on what you want to manifest? And how can you expect to manifest someone? Well, when you do manifest someone, why would you question it then? You manifested butterflies and then they show up and then you blindfold yourself to them. It's kind of like the too good to be true thing. Well, maybe you're just a really good manifester. It's not too good to be true. Maybe you're just really good at manifesting and you did it. You manifested a really great physical looking partner and they have almost a complete package. But if you keep looking for a problem, you're going to make one because you're a powerful manifester. What is it that the person you're involved with really wants? Now remember, this is about relationships where your naughty bits have interacted with each other, okay? This is not about relationships where your naughty bits have not interacted with each other. Though the advice can be, taken for some of those relationships too. Oh, no wonder. Thank you. 1111. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. I'm shuffling these cards and I feel like I'm constantly trying to say something, but I'm being stopped by someone else saying something. It's like a Barbie doll arguing with a Ken doll. I don't know if you've seen them on Facebook. And every time the Ken doll tries to say, but hey, I got you this puppy, the Barbie doll keeps complaining about how lonely she is and all this stuff, and then the Ken doll's like, but if you just let me finish, but it's a really interesting and subtle sense of fear in the feminine energy. It's almost like the feminine energy wants the masculine energy to overtake her and be like, calm thy tits. Like a barbarian picking up a little elf and being like, wrapping him over their shoulder and just carrying them off. Or what is it? Khal Drogo and Daenerys. God, the absurd images I'm seeing in my head right now. Okay, what is it this other individual wants? More creativity, more emotional regality. What is he? What even is that? More refined emotional expression. I feel like this should be looking this way, like the Queen of Cups is being handed an Ace of Wands, and she's like, what am I going to do with this? And she's flailing it all over the place, and she doesn't really know. And what this male energy wants is for the magician female energy to harness a more. I'm seeing a diamond create more facets in the diamond. More refined, more not ladylike, but more warrior queen, more authentic, vulnerable, open yet focused in emotional expression, wiser but deeper, a calm ocean but that knows it can turn into a typhoon or a tsunami or a whirlpool or freeze over, but it chooses to be still so even a lotus can grow, to where a lotus doesn't even need the mud. The waters that you carry would be so rich and so dense that even a lotus can grow out of them. I just saw the sea at night with stars all over it, and the water being able to reflect the night sky perfectly without losing the water's own self. But what it needs is a sense of fire that's contained and focused instead of a wildfire, a more potent power, a more focused, almost as if it's a sense of focused anger that turns into creativity instead of physical expression, to where the composure and grace of how the feminine energy is viewed isn't lessened by the overabundance of fire energy. It's finding that balance to where you can dip the sword into the water to temper it and cool it, but it's still bubbling and boiling and burning. It's fire and water at the same time. But the first step is to harness that fire and create something with it instead of, boil another cup of something, or boil the waters or the temperature and cause different emotional expressions or behaviors that are destructive to thine own self. To thine own self be true. And this masculine energy sees the feminine energy as a goddess, a queen, a warrior, a mother, a healer, a true intuitive person, someone in tune with and empathic with a lot more than they're aware of. Someone who sacrifices a lot and gives a lot to other people, but very rarely allows herself to receive. This is such a nice masculine energy. It's almost feeling like it's so wise that it remains silent while it's being yelled at, and it just stands there and waits in a patient, loving gaze kind of thing. And all this feminine energy wants is for this masculine energy to pick her up and like slam her against the wall and kiss her and all that stuff. But he's treating her like a jewel that shouldn't be harmed or tarnished or degraded in any way. But she sees this as a an excuse to release control, which allows her to be who she really is. But first, she needs to go through that spiral, that, tower moment of that control being kind of taken away in a loving way. Probably because the feminine energy has had to do a lot of leadership from a very young age. Nine of Swords at the bottom. What's the first step the masculine wants to take, or wants the feminine to take? Judgment. What's the thing the feminine doesn't want to do? What's the step the feminine doesn't want to take? Because she knows she should. The obvious, simple truth she hides from herself, but it's the one step she doesn't want to take. Sorry, not sorry. This is hilarious. This is fucking hilarious. So, look, the masculine energy, who you're asking about, wants you to admit the truth. to who you are for yourself before he treats you in any certain way, okay? We're going to use the wiggly pen. What you're refusing to do, the feminine energy, is what the feminine energy is refusing to do is to balance who she is in all aspects of her life into one total person. To allow herself to receive and to allow the masculine energy within herself to be given away, to walk away from the masculine energy and to claim those swords for herself. There's no indecision between those two other people. She chooses herself, which means the masculine can go back to the masculine side and the feminine side over here. The Queen of Cups energy that the masculine sees the feminine has can be fully realized, and that fire can be focused. So what I'm seeing here is the masculine already knows. Four of Wands and then the Ten of Swords at the beneath that. The masculine energy that you've been asking about, or that you have in your heart in this reading, whether they're passed on or present, they already know and see you as a complete, total person. They see you just the same way that you see the king or the god in them. They see the queen and the goddess in you. They see the emperor, empress in you, okay? What they're asking you to do is to be that feminine goddess energy all the time. They want you to let that control go. But to the feminine, which I think I'm reading for more feminine people than masculine. I keep saying you, because sometimes I feel like I'm just reading for one person. I don't mean anything weird by it when I say you. So whatever. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know what the fuck this energy is, you guys. It's such a timid, oh, it's like a scared teenager that's been forced to grow up for way too long. And then they finally have somebody that's just waiting for them to break down. It's like, let go of that control. She's holding like another, ghost angel here, and she's holding the fire here. It might feel like betraying yourself to be more of your feminine side because of all the times you had to take control in your life. I'm so hyper aware right now of the amount of people watching this reading and how I'm addressing this to each and every one by saying you. But at the same time, each and every one of you are hearing this completely differently, which is mind-boggling to me. Dido, White Flag. I love this song. Yeah, the masculine energy, which doesn't feel like, at least for the majority of the people I'm reading for, it doesn't feel like the masculine energy is watching this video at all. If they are there in spirit, and if they're not in spirit, they might see clips of this video at some point. It really feels like I'm reading for the feminine energy. So the masculine energy wants you, the feminine energy, to allow yourself to receive, to be the Queen of Cups instead of the King of Cups, and to not fall for every King of Cups that shows up and treats you like the Queen of Cups. Because you're so much more than that. The love you deserve, even the masculines, is beyond the earthly plane. So do not settle in the physical world for people who are just busy bowing and kissing your feet. but are ready to backstab you at any point. Be true to yourself, which is the living embodiment of God, Goddess. You're a child of God. Don't spread your legs for everybody. Don't let everybody kiss the temple of your body. Ooh, just hiccuped. And just because they look good doesn't mean they're good for you. You have to access the high priestess within yourself, the part of yourself who is a permanent virgin to mankind, a true bride of God, where only God touches you. And then look at every relationship in your life as if they're coming to touch that goddess. Who would you really allow to touch that version of you? To kiss your body, to tell you what to do, to sleep next to you, to cook and eat with you? Who would you allow near this goddess that you really are, whether you're the masculine or feminine energy watching? It doesn't matter. You have both in you. Don't let people that don't deserve, even if they're coming to kiss your feet are sacred. Let the elements kiss you. The wind, the earth. And take all their fucking swords and their empty promises and build empires for yourself. There will be a million men, a billion, and so many lifetimes. But right now you have this one physical form that you're inhabiting right now and experiencing life through for how many ever hours you experience it through each and every day. Do not let the illusions of what mankind can give you betray who you are and what you know you deserve. No matter their muscles, no matter their cup size, no matter their status or any of it. You don't have to do that. We've all been there. God knows we've all been there. So I'm taking this advice too for whenever I get into any kind of relationship. And it doesn't mean be a prude or a virgin or any of that. It just means enjoy what you're doing. Really enjoy it. But don't expect each and every one to be the king to your queen. Use that fire, but use it on yourself. All that passion, all that attractiveness, all that sexual energy, all that love, all that grief. Decorate your body, your temple. Tattoos and stories and piercings and braids in your hair and, decorations around the house that mark a moment and a lesson you learned and experienced. Create things with it. Fuck these other guys. And if you're going to fuck them, then enjoy it. But remember, you're the empress, you're the queen, you're the magician, you're the goddess. Whether you're in a male body or female, it does not matter. The masculine energy sees you as their world, as their creatrix, as their high priestess, as their judgment, as their queen, as a capable warrior, as someone who deserves everyone to be bowing before her. They even see you as a powerful leader. but you're refusing to let the masculine side of you go to be really the feminine side of who you truly are. And that the only masculine thing is by thinking you have to do it all on your own, which you can easily and effortlessly. But there's something destined for you, and I can't see it. It's like the light of this moon is blocking it from my sight. It's divine, it's absolutely holy and pure. But you have to see within yourself how you've been avoiding seeing yourself as this high priestess living in the modern world. This is really, really, really beautiful. There's so many moments I'm feeling from a lot of people that are just like a sigh of relief. It's okay to be who you are. Your real mate, your kingdom partner, your 5D, whatever, your present or passed on soulmate. And for those of you that have people that have passed on, there's others that can come. You just have to let yourself receive. Yes, you have had a true love and the truest love of your life, but there are lovelier days still left. Lovelier months, lovelier weeks, lovelier years, decades. Don't limit yourself by what you think, you know, your lifespan is. Just breathe. You're eternal. What was it, Moses or Methuselah lived for like thousands of years? Do you want to know why? Nobody told him he had an age span. There was no statistic to read. What goddess can you use as an archetype to help you take this step into being who you really are? Khadija, the mother of believers. I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. Okay, so you're confident, independent. You got your thing. You're everything and everyone, all the good singers and divas and everything, whatever. Do you have to poke them with that sword whenever they're around? Or can you wear it and never say a word about it and stand there like a goddess and do things with just a smile or a wink or a move of an eyebrow instead of unclothing and doing this? For people who walk away that easily, for people whose hearts you never touched, but they touched yours while you were intimate, and they didn't even realize how they broke your heart, and that broke your heart even more. Enough of that, darling, enough of that. You deserve better. You deserve so much better. You can't even see it. It's not about loving yourself. It's not about respecting yourself or being a prude or any of that stuff. It's about knowing that these people are lucky to even be in your presence, to be touched by you, to be kissed by you, to be even noticed sexually by you. the rank you hold, the status you emit, your aura, your vibe. It's pure love. And they want that nectar. And that's your power. That's your wand. That sexual magnetic flower with pollen and juice and all of that. That's your power. Contain it. Thrive in it. Let them lust over it. Let them lust over it so much they bow at your feet, begging you for a drop. And give them nothing. Because you belong to God. You belong to a king, an empress. You belong to yourself. Let them honor you. But always walk away knowing you got exactly what you wanted. You did exactly what you wanted. No one made you do anything. You're a queen, you're an empress. You know this. I'm really not getting more on this masculine side. It's really feeling like he's just like the masculine is more spiritually evolved at this point and doesn't even realize it. They're very simple about it. They're very, they spend their time wisely. They only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. It's really feeling like I want to say he's waiting for the feminine to grow up, but he doesn't realize how he's not grown up either. He doesn't realize that simplicity is boredom to the feminine. That quietness, that the routine and mundaneness and the thing always being about the feminine and her, fragility and all of that is just boring to her. He doesn't understand the balance. But in a way, he does, because he's already at the end point. A simple, loving partner. Underneath that is strength, and then the world. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't know what else to do about this. These two energies are kind of. Oh, how do I explain this properly without offending anybody? I mean, if I was your elder aunt or your great grandmother or somebody and telling you, oh, honey, save that flower for men who are worth it, it would be one thing. But I'm a card reader telling you what to do, right? Right? Or giving you advice on this. And let me tell you, if you're going to be worried about a guy and whether he's the one or whether he's cheating or whether he's twin flame or a karmic or what the fuck ever. I don't care whether he's a boyfriend, a date, a one night stand. Whether you're the feminine or masculine, if that concern is still on the mind, there is a level of growth to be performed and to be attained. And that is only attained by being single and actively choosing and participating in your own relationship with yourself. That doesn't mean just buy yourself flowers. That also means write yourself love notes, like go for walks, be more disciplined with yourself. Go and do all the things you would do in a relationship that you complain you never got to do in a relationship, but do them by yourself and actually enjoy them. I mean, for some people it's easy because they grow up as a single child in a family, or they're single for a majority of their life and they're like, oh, I already do this. But how are you with your thoughts? So take it a step, deeper. Others are born into families with multiple siblings and they always have a relationship with every time they break up, a week later they're with somebody else. Those people, like, you have to balance it out. You can't be in a relationship. If you can't be single for 6 months, then there's a big codependency problem. And if you're single for more than 6 months, then there's a kind of problem where you're not letting yourself even have fun. So I'm not advocating either way. I'm simply relaying a message here of allow yourself to grow into the next stage of yourself. Kind of like the teenage Michelle Pfeiffer is different from the 30-year-old Michelle Pfeiffer, which is different from the 60-year-old Michelle Pfeiffer, which is different from the 90-year-old Michelle Pfeiffer. The 100-year-old Betty White was different than the 50-year-old Betty White. The Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart is different than he is, when he was 16 than he is now. So maybe you're at the threshold in your life where you're going from princess to queen, or from queen to empress, or empress to goddess. So the song Sia, My Love by Sia is playing. You know that feeling when you're hugging someone and there's just that silence between you two? Give yourself that moment with your partner. If you're single, go stand in the mirror and look in the mirror and say nothing. Just look in the mirror and smile. Just take a moment of peace and solitude. Ask yourself, why are you in these relationships? Or why are you avoiding relationships? Why are you okay with being alone? Why are you not okay with being alone? What's going on in your head that you need somebody to be talking to you all the time? Why are you scared of being who you really are when that's exactly what everyone's waiting for? That applies to me in a bunch of ways too. When you guys think of God, when you think of Jesus, or when you think of Buddha or Mother Mary, do you actually feel their presence? When you think of Archangel Michael, do you physically feel that presence within or around you? I want you to practice something when you close this video. I want you to sit real quietly, even if it's just for 60 seconds, okay? And conjure up within you the feeling of who you really perceive Jesus Christ to be, okay? I don't even get, this has nothing to do with Christianity. I just want you to conjure up the feeling of Jesus Christ within your body. If you're going to avoid doing that, then that's a big problem. Like, there's an entity attachment. If you're doing it and you're like, oh, I know how Jesus feels like, well, do it again and go deeper, as if he's a real legitimate person sitting in front of you that has thoughts and feelings. And he's just invisible. And you're attempting to feel for him instead of look for him. Please attempt this, because I think it's going to illuminate you from the inside out regarding this whole relationship spread. Now let's see what else you need to know about the relationship thing. My presence will go with you and I will give you rest. May the Lord make your love increase and overflow for each other and for everyone else. Let us love one another, for love comes from God. And everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. I can't even begin to tell you how difficult that was to read. God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. My presence will go with you and I will give you rest. 3:14. 5. Okay, so does your presence in a relationship give the partner rest? If you were around yourself, would you feel comfortable in quiet moments? Let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. So when you're loving your partner or yourself, whatever that means to you, are you loving, honoring, cherishing, adoring the God within you and them as well? Because it's God loving God. It's not you loving Betty Boop, it's you loving God. It's God loving God. Think about that for a while. May the Lord make your love increase and overflow for each other and for everyone else. When you're around each other, when you're around other people, does it benefit them? Does it benefit yourself and your partner with what you say, think, or do? Does your presence increase the love around you and other people that comes from God? God is faithful. So are you paranoid about your partner cheating, or has your partner cheated before, or are you a cheater? Because God is faithful. So if there's cheating, then it's not very godly, is it? Then that means avoid that person. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. So if you're being tempted by something, it might not be so bad. You might be thinking that you're just being tempted because it's tempting and it's, fun and pleasurable and delicious, but it's actually made for you. Even if you feel like you're running from it, it could be exactly part of the whole story you tell your grandkids, or the best sex you had in your life. But if there's unfaithfulness to where it's just you can't even bear it, your heart breaks and you cry and you're miserable and you're alone, and or you're with someone and they're making you wish you were alone, then that's not for you. And that's your sign to get out of that situation. Because a true loving relationship, faithfulness is an automatic part of it. Unconditional love is a part of it. Benefiting other people just by being around them is a part of it. Being the rest and the peace and the oasis with each other is a part of it. Being spiritual together, tending to nature is a part of it. If we love one another, God lives in us and his love is made complete in us. Sometimes I wish you could have met my great-grandparents and my grandparents when they were, in the 1970s and the 1960s, 1980s. Your idea of a healthy relationship would be really different in a really beautiful way. Sometimes I want you to have seen the TV shows I saw growing up, like I Love Lucy, Golden Girls, Mary Tyler Moore, so many, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Bionic Woman. There were so many shows. The Gummy Bears, Care Bears, The Last Unicorn. God, I watch The Last Unicorn still almost every week, if not every other day. And if it's not on TV, it's playing in my head. So, but those things instilled in me a sense of, I don't know. It's a sense of sticking together, but also a sense of being who you truly are. And knowing that sometimes the people you thought you were supposed to be together with, they just don't, they're not it. Or you're not it to them. And then you have to learn how to let that shit go, and go do your own thing. Or you have to learn how to deal with other people and do things with them. But first, you have to be centered in yourself and know that you are who you are, masculine or feminine. And this applies to everybody, not just relationships. You can't expect your partner to be telepathic. Not yet, at least. I'm going to go. I hope this helps. I can do more, like, straight up love reading soon. I think I kind of want to, but I'm still working out how we're going to do it. I don't know. I feel really squishy. I can't help but think about the thing with like bratty energy being in the same body as like Queen Elizabeth. But Queen Elizabeth at some point was a 16-year-old girl, or reptile, whatever you think. At some point she went to some kind of high school, to some kind of prom, to some kind of 25th birthday. She had those experiences, but somehow she is who she is now. And Joan of Arc had those experiences before she was Joan of Arc, before she was just Joan of that house over there. The thing, the little brat who thinks she hears God. You know what I mean? Beyonce was a teenager and went to high school before she was a musician. She probably ate ramen noodles like we do, most of us. And who you are now is who you are, but it's not who you really are. It's a part of who you are. It's kind of like who you see me as is a part of who I am, but you don't really know the full me. I don't even know the full me. But every day, every moment, it changes and evolves. We have to be okay with that. That's why that video, the promise kept by Gaia, is so important, energetically and mentally and emotionally. You have to grieve for the versions of you that you thought you were going to be. They're still all with you. And all those versions you see of other people, they're all possible in them. But It's not your place to hide them or to invoke them. It's your place to allow. So take a deep breath and just allow yourself to be okay with growing up. It's okay. I'm here. So I love you. Please don't hold any unforgiveness in your heart for anybody. It does nobody any good. Just let that emotion go and replace that emotion with another one. Feel boredom if you must, but feel something else other than unforgiveness. So think of someone you can't forgive and just, ooh, you hate that feeling. Oh, I hate that person. But replace it. Oh, that person's boring. Oh, that person is completely indifferent. Replace it. And stop pretending to be who you're not. They don't see through that illusion you cast. Some of them do, but they're the ones that drive you crazy in a good way. But the ones that don't bother trying to show them or explain to them anything. Just be who you are, so when you look back on your life, you can say you were authentic, even when you weren't. You thought you were. So that was authentic, at least to yourself. You're being true to who you are, even if who you are changes. You're still truly who you are. So don't regret yourself or feel shamed or any of that stuff. Allow yourself to be, and allow them to be who they are. You know what I mean? Because I don't. I feel like I'm rambling. So I'm going to go. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for all the stuffs. I don't know what else to say. Okay, bye.